Hello, everyone. Who do we have here? Mariana. Good morning, not good afternoon, I guess. Says hello, female. 28, Mexico. ¿Cómo está? Juanpa, male 25, Costa Rica. Hello there. Carpe diem. Good to see you, he says, and good to see you as well. Carpe diem. Says Meran, it says M42 Alberta. Hello, wonderful teacher. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. A wonderful teacher. Almost could have been sitting here with the head injury, or maybe possibly not sitting here at all and gone to the other dimensions. Yesterday, I had a unexpected fall. I was in downtown and, with some clients, and then I was doing something. I think I was putting my gloves on, and then the steps to the entrance of this building, the lobby, was, I don't know, somehow rising from the street level gradually, which wasn't really visible that easy, or perhaps I was busy, and I guess my foot got caught in the thinking that there is no stairs, but there was a little coming off of the ground, and then I lost my balance and I tried to hold. I usually can regain my balance, but this one was actually not happening. So at the last moment, I said, okay, this looks like I'm going head first. So I brought my hand and I grabbed the fall. Broke the fall, and then rolled on my elbow to, not have so much pressure on it. Anyhow, I was saved. My head didn't hit anywhere, but my hand, I'm limited in use for now. the whole palm of the hand took a whole shot, and it's now getting to be more blue, and I can feel it. I can still play the guitar. Oh, no, not really. So thank you for being here. Glad to be here. Sometimes things happen that you start thinking about the people around the world who are having real disastrous things, like bombs on their heads and gunshots and injuries for no reason, and then what kind of devastation they're feeling. And just me falling on the ground, luckily it didn't hit my head, but still, it's not a big deal yet. We seem to be forgetting about all the devastations and things that are happening to other people when we don't face with it, or we don't think about it, and we take everything as we rudely expect even more. So anyhow, we are very very critical to our own lives, while when something happens, suddenly you see how good it actually is, and you focus on some things that are, you focus on things because you have most other things that you're not focused on. When something happens, you brings your focus to totality of your life, and you see, wow, I have it pretty good. Yeah. So one-armed bandit I am right now, and Carpe Diem here goes with his generosity again, and embarrassing me at the same time, and making me feel encouraged that we have some support for the channel. So we have $20 of super chat, and it says, for great tea and vitamins for you to heal. Yes, maybe I should start having that that every day. Oh, today I hit my head to the wall. Next day I tripped and I felt my knees hurting. By the way, I had many different injuries when I was riding as an equestrian. Do you want to compensate me for that? Carpe Diem, all open. I'll come up to maybe a few $1 million because I had lots of incidents. But thank you very much. Very kind of you, and very welcoming. So we have... did you guys finally come up with time about we were going to have a Zoom, member Zoom. Remember, if you're a member, then we can have a live stream Zoom for members only, $25. That would be the fee for the members, and 10 people only at a session. And we will have it at least for 2 hours. So they will have ample time for people to interact, and then I can see you guys and we can talk rather than writing and all that. And so please remember, the ones who want to participate, and my email is md007m@gmail.com for PayPal. So you can send $25, and when I see the registration, then I can, of course, also see your membership, that you're a member here, and then $25 will get you in for that 2-hour session, 10 people maximum. So once I get that, then I can send you the link of the Zoom for the next Sunday at 1 o'clock. Next Sunday at 1 o'clock. That's for North America and Europe, so that will fit that time zone. So we have a super chat from Tim Leonard. Says, thanks for everything. You're quite welcome, Tim. My pleasure. I just uploaded 2 long videos this morning at 7 o'clock. It's 1 hour and 8 minutes. It's focusing on why we give credibility to the brain, especially on the intrusive thoughts. It's quite wordy, but hey, it's I don't work with little injections of sayings or quotes. I want you to know the whole stream, the flow of describing the process of what I want you to focus on, so you can become very familiar with the concept and the roots of our discussion, so you can analyze that for yourself and become the mechanic of your own machine in such topics and figure out these things for yourself rather than just be bamboozled with some conclusion that shows up in your head in the form of word or thoughts or suggestion or image, and then you don't know why should I accept this at all? What's the credibility of this? And what is the role of the brain? How have we been brainwashed to think about the brain all through our life? What is the relationship between brain, thoughts, and me? Who is me? I have many videos on this topic, and the ones that I uploaded today also touches. It's in 2 parts, but one of them is full version, 1 and 2 together, 1 hour and 8 minutes. And if you don't have, if you have interest and free time, then, brew a teacup and then brew the tea and then put it in the teacup, and then enjoy it. Okay. So we have Juanpa says, Pura vida, Meram, Pura vida, Juanpa, dear. And Carpe Diem says, thumbs up. And thank you, guys. Whoever does a thumbs up thing, would be appreciated. And thank you again, Carpe Diem, for all your kind words. Luna says, salam and good evening, dear Mehran. Kaifek al-yum. I keep... Shukran, tamam. Yes, there we go. Early today, I see. Glad to be joining as always. Or thank you for being here. Luna says female 36 UK and thumbs up, and thank you for that. And Chester says male 27 Hawaii. Oh, aloha Mehran. He says, oh, aloha to you as well. Chester, mahalo. And he says, happy Halloween, and happy Halloween to you as well. Oh, is it? Oh, it's 31st, isn't it? Guys, be careful wherever you go. If you go anywhere, hopefully you won't, with the mask and all that. And Halloween, as wonderful a season and time of the year it is, it's one of my favorite times of the year, but we need to be a little bit careful about, not being in places that they're not using precautions for whatever this thing is that is going around. At least take precautions that you need to do. And Type O negative says, hello Mehran, male 22 USA. Hello Type O. Luna says, okay, Luna is talking to Carpe Diem. Okay. Ah, yes, Carpe Diem. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm okay. I can't believe my luck, really. Uh, Nothing broke. It was a pretty bad. It was like an Aikido fall, but on concrete, not on mats. But it was like face down, and if I hadn't brought my hand out at the last moment, who knows? Maybe I would be in ICU right now or gone, because it was very, things can happen in a second. I mean, life can, boom, gone. So I guess it's important to focus on important things rather than unimportant things, and making unimportant things seem important just because of lack of understanding or lack of really ability to know the function or malfunction of the brain, and just count on whatever it spits out of it to be credible. It's not. So anyhow, I'm thankful. I don't have a full function of my hand. It's blue and it's tight, but it looks like I can move it in any direction. So that's good enough for now. But it kind of depresses you in a way that, oh, I was this close for having broken my hand or this and that, so forth. And then the intrusive thoughts can get into it too. So let's see what we have here. Luna says, Alhamdulillah, you are safe and well. It can get rather icy, slippery, etc. around this time. Yeah, it wasn't icy or anything. It was just the stairs of the lobby of the front side of the building kind of gradually coming out of the ground. One of these, when the building is on the slope, the street, so when they want to have a stairs, it gradually comes off of it, and there was no plantation around it to kind of keeps people away from it. So it was quite surprising and not really cool. So all right, let's see what we have here. I just had to respond to that. So now we have, what do we have here? RK Gaming says hello. Hello, RK. Remember, guys, we need age, gender, and where you're tuning in from. And RK Gaming says, please mention me. All right, you're mentioned. And RK says, how can I join? Just press on the join button and then you'll join. Are you talking about joining as a member? The button join on right there where you can see it on the on my page, or are you talking about just joining the discussion? Well, for joining the discussion is free. You just type in your questions and I'll get to it. Otherwise, by being a member, a paid member, then you have your choice. Click on join, I'll give you the options. And Carpe Diem says, Mehran, as a member, I thought we would get that for free. Non-members would have to pay. Please clarify, thank you. Well, usually when I do these things, it would be like $50 or $75. Members get it for $25. So in other words, there's like $50 or $25 discount because they're members. And I don't know what level the members are. And I will check your level. If you are having the top level, that 30 some odd dollars, then I can waive yours. not a problem. Anybody who's just a regular member, then they have to pay $25. But if you're on top end of their membership, like it's the, I don't know, $38 or $34 a month, then we can waive that $25. I guess that would be fair. Thanks for bringing it up. And non-members, if they wanted to show up at a Zoom, which is for members, they would have to pay the full price, which would be $50. So, and there's only 10 people that can participate, because we want to get it, small number, so I can attend having the conversations for their needs. All right. Okay. And we have Tim Shatter says, hello, Marin. Hello, Tim. And Jeffrey says, happy Halloween, Marin. Jeff, male 32, Toronto. How you doing? Thanks very much. Good to see you here. And Tim says, male 28, Boston. Thank you for that, Tim. Tim says, 1 of 4. Oh, we got a book coming. Strap on, guys, and have your teas. We got a story coming. Tim says, 1 of 4. About a year ago, my friend, my female friend from church, who's about 40 years old, invited me to go out with her to coffee. Oh, yeah, we talked about that last night, didn't we? To Cafe Nero. We ate and had a nice and long talk about general things in life. So far, so good. 2 of 4 says, I might have talked about you even, Meran, but as this was a very unusual occasion, my parents were wondering why would she ask me out, and that the only reason that could explain why she did that was because she wanted to start a relationship with me. That's what your parents said. Yeah, we discussed that last night. Although we have been close friends, she has never given me hints that she likes me or is expecting something from me. And 4 of 4 says, however, I am the other hand, have given her just a few hints, but she has never used them to her advantage. Why would she ask me out on that day then? Because women are different than men. They don't invite friends just because they want to have sex. We could have that in mind, that you may go out and invite some girl out because you are hoping, and your whole program is towards intimacy, and you're hoping to get to know her further, and then hope that she likes you, and then so on and so forth. But when women invite a friend, they don't necessarily are focusing on that. They just want companionship, discussion, sharing, especially at a more mature age of, you said she's 47, 48? She's not necessarily, she may be interested in good conversations, companionships, and experiencing, dating or life or general good company. And they're not just physically driven as much as the men mostly are in situations of, dating, and their expectations. And so we welcome Luna as a member, and thank you for that, Luna. Certainly appreciate it. We are gaining grounds. I gotta check and see which there is a curious, then there is a serious, then there is a super fan or something like that. But it's all welcomed. So I guess we could have a special chart. So in other words, all members below the higher end, which is the whatever it is, super fan or super member or something, $34 or something. Anybody other than that level would pay the $25. People who are not member will pay $50, and people who are on the top level of membership, which is like $34 a month or something, they pay nothing for the Zoom live streaming that we're going to have from time to time, or who knows, maybe every week. Only 10 people at a time, and so non-members $50, members $25. The membership type that is, I think, super fan or something, which is $34 or 30 some dollars per month, they are waived the cost of the Zoom live stream. I think that's good. So anybody who wants to participate, they can go on PayPal and send it through my email, md007m@gmail.com. That is here, md007m@gmail.com. I actually don't really necessarily like to talk about these money stuff, but I've learned that unless I have these programs and talk about the charges and how it's done, the channel will not have any money. So that's what we're doing. So let's get that out of the way. So there is the email here. They can go on PayPal and send that Zoom live stream fee or registration fee through PayPal, because there is no special category on my site for this kind of a service to click and choose and then pay for it. So just you can send it through the email, like send money to a friend or whatever it is that you do. And we have a super chat from Luna. My goodness, that's a big super chat. That's 20 pounds. We're getting rich, guys. Maybe I should go and fall more often. People are now being kind to me. They feel sorry for me. One arm bandit. Oh, it's hurting. So, please, more money, more money. It feels a little bit better, I think, somehow. That was, yeah. All right. Oh, does it? Carpe Diem says, it says, Mera, no disrespect, says members only live stream, loyalty badges, basic support, free Zoom chat. Yeah, free Zoom chat. Does it also say which level would have the free Zoom chat? I'll make sure I'll fix it up. Only leave the free Zoom chat for the higher level, and then take that off if it is still misunderstanding for the lower levels, because it wouldn't make sense, like $8 a month, and then we have Zoom chats all free. How we will make money? There would be no, and people are not as necessarily gracious as Luno or yourself and some others that we get super chat sometimes. And mostly it's all without any financial support. So I gotta make sure that that's not misleading. So we'll keep it for the higher end of the membership, which is, I don't know, superfan or whatever it is. Anything that is over $30 a month, we'll have the fee for the Zoom waived. But anything below that, they would pay the discounted price of $25, and the non-members will pay $50. I think that's just fair. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense really. Aman says, I don't know, I'm feeling fear as if I get married in future, I won't get the relationship of loving due to what I'm feeling now. No, don't. Even if you feel, however, the HOCD is hitting you, you still focus on your life. It doesn't matter what comes to thought. You're still who you are. Because remember, you always have your choice. You make choice, not thoughts. Just because something shows up in your brain that suggests that you're a different gender, that doesn't mean you are. What is your preference? You always say that your preference is girls, heterosexuality. You've always been like they always like the girls. So that's who you are. That's your choice. Doesn't matter what the brain says. Just as if you walk in the street and somebody calls you something that you're not, that doesn't mean you are what that person has called you. You are still who you want to be, who you have been, who you prefer to be, and that's what it is. That's the end of that. So you will have a great life with your wife, children. Don't worry about that. You don't have to consider suggestions as a mandate or some kind of a any of that sort. And Luna says, here's to new blessed beginnings under your guidance, and to say a genuine thank you for all that you do selflessly, not feeling sorry, feeling grateful and honored to have supported your channel. And Luna says, all those many moons ago, shukran deeply. My pleasure, Luna. You guys don't really, honestly, it's although it's something that is customary and it has to be done for channel to have support, financial support, but it's not a real favorite subject of mine to talk about it. So we just say it maybe once in a while, and then the services are on the on the site, and we explain the channel, and that's it. And the rest of it is all up to you guys. But I certainly appreciate it, and you're very kind, and thank you for the kind words. Carpe Diem says, it's all good. I always support the channel. I will pay if I have to. Yeah, I know. You've always been gracious and helpful and supportive to the channel, always. And it's just somehow that if one is, I don't know what membership level you have, because you always support the channel. I mean, it's really not necessary for someone who is, but don't support like the way you do, so keep it for the Zoom fee, so it would be fair to you. Otherwise, for Zoom, we're still going to charge anybody who is not on that $30+ a month membership. So I don't want it to be unfair to you, and I don't want to have this make anybody uncomfortable. Carpe Diem says, I want your channel to grow. I love your channel very much. I thank you very much, Carpe Diem. I really appreciate your support all throughout. We've never had such experience with anyone, and I really appreciate it. And I just want to make sure that everybody is on the same level on these new things that we're coming up with. So again, I'll check all the perks on the memberships and make sure that it's not going to be misleading, and at the same time we'll keep it free for that $30 up per month membership, and the others will all pay $25 for that live streaming on Zoom. 10 people maximum, 2 hours minimum time for that session, and then non-members will pay $50. I think we'll start that way, and we'll just play it by ear, see how we can improve it better or not. And Aman says, what to do? A girl is interested in talking with me, but I'm having anxiety and feeling nothing for her. Well, why do you have to feel anything for her if you just want to be friend and talk with her? Another human being wants to talk to you, so talk, enjoy, friend. Don't you talk with other friends? Or you only talk with friends if you have some kind of a desire? No, you talk to friends. So instead of thinking that, oh, because she's a girl, I have to have sexual interest in her to talk to her, otherwise I can't. No, talk to her, and then you'll enjoy your conversation. And whatever comes next, then whether you will feel something or not, that will remain to be seen. All right, we had a session last night that I thought I should just simply have one, and I think it went on for over almost 2 hours, but then we were interrupted by by my neighbor hitting on the wall because it was 11:28 Friday night, and we didn't have any music or anything. We were just talking, but I guess the voice carries through, and so eventually I had to, make sure that it will be comfortable for my neighbor. So we ended it about 12, I think. So we had something like 2 hours, but we had. It was not announced, not scheduled, but we had more people last night than we have right now. That it is a scheduled one, and everybody knows it for about a week ahead of time. So what do you guys think the problem is here? I mean, on a Saturday, which is the only day that we will have the live talks during the week, we have like 9 people here. There's something wrong here, isn't it? Do we not get the announcements out? What happens, honestly? Ouch. And PK, okay, we've already discussed that. So it looks like we don't have any more questions. Maybe I should just... We have Luana Papadopoulou. Papadopoulou. Says, Johan, 40, male, Greece. Says, hello, Mehran. If you constantly ruminating your ex-girlfriend for 2 years all day about everything, the sex you had with her, and some fantasies about sex you didn't accomplish, is that HOCD? No, not at all. HOCD stands for homosexual OCD. That is when a heterosexual person is having intrusive thoughts about being gay or turning gay or having interest, like the thought suggests that he or she has interest in same sex, and all these sort of things, which in fact they don't. That person doesn't have any interest in homosexuality, but their thoughts suggest that. That is one of the subsets of OCD, and it's called HOCD, standing for homosexual OCD. What you're describing is just you think about your girlfriend and ex-girlfriend and fantasize about things that you wanted to do and you didn't and all that. That has nothing to do with that what we talked about. And Luna says, can you please reiterate how do I pay to book my place on Zoom for next Sunday? And what time will be the Zooming? As I guess people will be tuning in from different time zones. I'm in UK, as you know. Yeah, for sure. And Luna says, and how much is it to book a space? I know you said all this, but I wasn't 100% paying attention. Okay, good. Perfect. No problems. Here it is, Luna. If you are a member and you're not the top end of the top tier of the membership, in other words, your monthly payment is less than $30 a month, which most membership types on this channel are either $3.99 or $8 something. And then there's one, I think, is the top end of it, which is $34 something. Unless you're on that membership of $34 something, all the other memberships will pay $25 for the Zoom meeting, and that membership that is paying $30 or more per month will be waived, doesn't have to pay. If someone is not a member, wants to participate in that limited attendees numbers of the Zoom, that would be $50. So for non-members, $50. For members, below $30 a month is $25. And the way it can be paid is because I don't have a button on the site for Zoom yet. We will. My kind programmer is working on putting that in. You can just go to PayPal and send money through my email, because the PayPal then sends that money to my PayPal account, and then I can see who are the people who have paid $25 or $50, because there's a note that you can put in there when you're sending the money. It says a note, and you can say for Zoom live streaming next Sunday, a date of it, whatever it is, next Sunday. Next Sunday would be what? I tell you, next Sunday would be, come on. Next Sunday would be 8th, November 8th. Yeah. Next Sunday would be November 8th. So you can put a note in the registration for Zoom live stream Sunday, November the 8th. That would be at 1 p.m. Vancouver time. Just like today, we started at 1 p.m. Saturday, Vancouver time. That would be 1 p.m. Vancouver time. So you can also mention that, 1 p.m. Vancouver time. But I would know it anyhow. As long as it says Zoom, I know that's the fee for that. Is that clear, Luna? Is that okay? And Carpe Diem says, no problem. It's YouTube. It's effed up. Look, okay. Carpe Diem says, what do you do if your ex of 10 years reaches out to you? Should you reply, say you still care? She wants support. She's a doctor dealing with pandemic, very stressed. What do I do? She's in COVID-only hospital in Europe. Well, there are two ways to deal with. One is, first of all, you talk to her. And talk to her, but not as thinking that, it's my ex-girlfriend calling. Because it's been so long, you only focus that there is a friend calling, someone that I knew calling, and your purpose is to see what she wants. Because obviously there is no relationship there. You're too far away. She's somewhere else, you're somewhere else. So you want to know what she wants. So, yeah, you reconnect and say, uh, what can I do for you? How are you? And hope all things are good. Hope you're, if she has children, you say, hope your child is good, this and that. And then see what she wants based on the support that she needs, which probably the way you explain, it's not going to be financial, it's going to be moral support. Give her the moral support. It's another human being asking for support from that far. It just makes it easier that you care. But don't open up saying, oh, by the way, I still miss you. And don't say any of that shit. None of that. You know you miss her. You know that you would like to have her close by. That's fine. That's good enough. Saying it to her does not make her come to you, or does not make it like, I'm now one step closer to having her beside because I said that. No, it just makes you weak at this time, because you have already expressed all that to her. She knows about it. It's been a long time. She's made her choice. Do not make any comment on that unless she makes it. If she says, I miss you, I want to come there, she said, well, you can, we can discuss it. Then step by step. Don't suddenly say, oh yeah, sure, the door is open, come in. Let her feel that she's working for it. Otherwise, if you're always available, people, unfortunately, are not all confident and fair. They want something, but as soon as it's so available, then suddenly it's, oh, why should I want something that is available? I only want things that I can't have. That's a weak-mindedness and someone who doesn't have enough confidence and doesn't know really what she's looking for. She's trying to get value by getting things that she doesn't think she's good enough for. And these are all mind games that she plays with her. So don't play into that. Just let her contact you and figure out what you can do for her, as long as it's not financial. Do it. If she wants to come and visit you, fine. You can discuss it, and don't get any promises from her. Just let her come if she wants to come in, have a vacation with you here. But don't go out traveling. But I know these things are not happening because it's a COVID time. Just so you know, you have a little bit of a clarity on that, because I know how difficult it is when an ex-girlfriend calls in and you still care about her because you had a good experience with her and you haven't replaced her with anyone. So there's a vacuum, there's a need, and then she can walk all over you just because you have that desire to be with her. I don't want you to fall into that. So be nice, but at the same time, don't express anything from your side unless she starts seriously say, I want to see you, can I see you? Say, well, you can come here for a few days and we can discuss it. She said, well, a few days. We said, okay, well, I don't know what your schedule is, maybe a week or two. Then we can see if anything has changed. Simple like that. I don't think it's going to go that way because you've explained this situation to me before, but I guess it's something that you can have in mind. Luna says, I don't have PayPal. Can I email you my bank deets and perhaps set up a transfer or something? Yeah, anyway that works for you. PayPal also takes Visa and credit cards. So even though it's on PayPal, but I think you can use credit cards through PayPal. I hope I'm right. And how will you send us Zoom link? I'll just email you the Zoom link. That would be easy. Luna says, yep, that is clear as day. It should be easy enough to join as long as payment issues are ironed out. I look forward to it. Thank you kindly. My pleasure. My pleasure. I can also make it easier that on that particular day, maybe I can come online on YouTube, maybe 15 minutes early, and everybody comes on YouTube. The ones who want to attend, they can come on YouTube and pay it via Super Chat. Carpe Diem says, do we pay? How do we pay? Oh, okay. Carpe Diem, if anyone's membership is the type that is $30 and more per month, they don't have to pay. But if it's anything less than that, like they're members but they pay $3.99 or $8.99 or something like that, they would pay $25. All members, unless they're on the top tier that they pay $30 or more per month, all members pay $25. Non-members pay $50. And only 10 people in every Zoom live stream. They can go to PayPal and pay through using my email address, as I put it up here, and just send $25 if they're a member. If they're not, $50, and then in the comment where they're sending the money, transfer money, right, for Sunday, November 8th, Zoom live stream. Then I know that's a registration for that. Then to your email, I'll send back the link for Zoom. And you can use your Visa and MasterCard and stuff on PayPal as well, I believe. Now, the other way is that I can come in 15 or 20 minutes earlier, or at least leave it open on Sunday, and member or non-members, according to what they need to pay, they can pay it by Super Chat. That would be very easy. So then we'll have that. So that would be not necessarily preferable, because then I wouldn't know how many people have registered ahead of time, because then they have to wait until it's Sunday for the Super Chat. I prefer if I know it goes through PayPal and I can see who has registered, send a link and all that. Because again, when I want to send the link, it will be a little difficult on Super Chat thing. Yeah, I got to put it there, everybody knows. Then I have to still go through email by email, which that becomes time consuming on that very day. If it was a day before, it would be fine. Or I can do it day before, something like that, Maybe on a Sunday, on a Saturday, we can have that done. So there are different ways that it can be done. Luna says, yes, much easier way via Super Chat payment for the technically retarded like me. Carpe Diem says, I will do that. I always support your... Yeah, I know, Carpe Diem. You're super duper. You're even higher than all the other levels. So, Tim says, Mehran, just curious, what did you find in Canada that you did not find in the United States, world's richest country? It's a very good question, but I have to be very careful in responding, because I don't want to insult any of my friends in the United States, because it's not about them personally. I went to school in the United States, and I grew up as a kid who is exposed to American way of life. But before that, with my family, we traveled many places in Europe since childhood. And the lifestyle that we had in Iran was above average comfort. So we were exposed to different cultures and different level of education. And many of you know, my father was a top-notch lawyer, had a PhD in law, spoke 6 languages, and a very experienced politician, and he had done great work in many different facets of his life, political, business, and so on and so forth. So I learned a lot from him. So I had these backgrounds before I went to United States for university. But furthermore, it advanced my understanding and exposure to American way of life. So I'm very fond of it and pro the culture and so on. However, what Canada has is a little bit of a more European flair and more humanitarian in many ways, equalities. I never had any problems as far as problems that many people from other countries go through when they're living in the United States. I just somehow didn't. Maybe, I don't know, for whatever reason. Maybe I didn't allow anybody, or maybe I didn't think of anyone could think they're any better than me. Maybe I had the confidence. I don't know. I never was, facing any discrimination or any problem while I was living in, going to school in university. Or if there was, maybe I didn't notice. I don't know. It wasn't in my mindset. In Canada, it's a more of a socialist country. In other words, it's a capitalistic country. You can make as much money as you want. All businesses, anything, just as open as United States is in style of, system. But it has social services, humanitarian system. Its laws are more towards social benefits, and they care about that. For example, we have free health care here. Like, I pay zero. I used to pay $75 a month for my family. Then singularly, we used to pay $75 per person a month. But then singularly, it was $75. And then children were cheaper for that benefit. And then since a year ago, 2 years ago, the $75 was reduced to $37.50 a month. And then from January last year, like 2020, we pay zero. Everything for medical diagnosis, procedures, surgeries, visiting doctors, whether it's a cold or headache or whatever it is all free. You pay for your medicine, unless you have some government insurance to supplement that too. But if you're older, like you're 55 and out, the medicine has, again, discounted. So there are lots of good things in Canada. And culturally is more of a acceptable society in all cultures. There are pretty much no issues that is visible in Canada. I know there might be some issues, I'm sure there are, but again, nothing that I've felt here, and I'm not exactly blonde and blue eyes, but there is no such issue or necessity here to be of certain race or certain color to have the best services or respected or any special treatment everybody gets special treatment here. And if you don't, it depends on that person's personal behavior and culture or education, that service giver. Otherwise, you won't notice it here in Canada. All across Canada, the culture of inclusion and fair treatment is of utmost importance. I heard a story that in a long time ago, an Iranian was in the airport many years ago, and someone who was not of immigrant background somehow, for some reason, whatever reason was it, was being rude and uttered a sentence such as this: once you go back to your own country. That apparently was reported to RCMP in the airport, and the RCMP actually came and arrested the guy who said such a thing to that immigrant. That's how Canadians' laws, authorities, protect equality, and that there shouldn't be no such hateful remarks or such remarks by anyone, whether they're born here or not. So these are the good things that you see in Canada, and I don't see that in the United States. As you know, even especially these days, even more apparent. And this has always been in the United States, in the minds and different mentalities of people, but they never had the chance to show it because the system was very protective of most people in the United States, trying to make sure everybody feels safe. But with the change of administrations, it is different now. That means it was always in the mindset of many people to be racist, to be discriminatory, to not have the culture and education and manners and morals and class of understanding the unity of human beings around the world, and that we all need the same things and we all are in it together. So the bigotry and all that in the United States is far superior than many other countries that I have had the experience. But again, don't forget, this is just discussing about on this particular topic. Otherwise, there are millions and millions and millions and millions of wonderful, amazing, kind, compassionate, educated, classy people in the United States as well. So this is just a discussion about this particular topic, not that this sums up and describes all Americans. Of course not. Of course not. And again, we have a super chat from Carpe Diem. My goodness, you are really one-handedly supporting the channel all the time. Carpe Diem says thank you for 12 thumbs up, and he thanks everybody for 12 thumbs up. Well, Carpe Diem, we're one short. We're 11. So I hope that Tim, that explains a little bit towards your question. So, and also with such power that the United States have, and wealth and abilities, you would expect a lot more from them in their behavior, outlook. I'm talking about the administration, government, not the people. People are many amazing people in the United States, and I grew up there. It's just, for me, it's like, a very familiar place. It's like my home. My youth was there. All my experiences in university was there. It's a very important time of growth and the development of the, mentality and so on. So I have all the good things to say about the United States as well. So don't take me wrong. But we're talking about a certain specific issue that you brought up. So that's the difference between Canada and the United States. I mean, this year, Bernie Sanders went out of his way trying to educate people about the necessity of having the right to have medical care free of charge. People couldn't understand it. As simple as that. They couldn't. They were so easily manipulated in their brains that all the politicians had to say, just attach a word socialism to anything that Sanders said, and suddenly people, not being educated enough, they thought, oh, socialism is bad. What's wrong with socialism? We're not talking about communism. We're talking about social services. Socialism, being social, thinking about its people. Free medical care. Whatever you want to call it. Socialism, gulalism, poolism, whatever lism you want to call it. Its meaning is that you get your medical for free and you have that support. You don't have to go bankrupt if you get sick or your child gets sick. Simple. But all they had to do is just put a word, socialism, and most Americans seems to be so oblivious and uneducated about what that means. They're brainwashed to think anything to do with that word means communism. Oh, no. It means socialism. What do you think Social Security is? You guys have Social Security, don't you? What do you think stamps are? What do you think government subsidies are? These are all socialist services, social services. But as long as you don't call it that, it's okay. Poor Bernie Sanders killed himself in order to keep educating people about your rights, anti-racism, different nationalities, to have any kind of a difference. They all should be treated equal, the same. Free education, if possible, wherever it was possible. Healthcare. These are rights that people should have, certain kind of a basic securities for their life, especially when they get older. Medicare should be free for everybody. So he tried that. But look, what happened? Where did he get him? What do we have? So these are the differences. Here we don't have that issue. That issue was resolved before Prime Minister Trudeau, long before him. Not this Trudeau, his father. 40 years ago, when I immigrated to this country, Prime Minister Pierre Elliott Trudeau was the Prime Minister of Canada. And long before that, this whole business of healthcare was already taken care of for the Canadians. But in America, what is it? It's a middleman. It's an insurance company. It says, hey, look, pay me first. Maybe I won't, fix your knee because, I don't know, you had this and that. It's nonsense. It's all about money. It's good to make money and be able to make money, but not when it has to do with your health and your welfare. Anyhow, that's what I have to say about that. Sure, Carpe Diem. I'll do that. Definitely. For sure. I will send the Zoom so the link wouldn't go stale. I think I will send the Zoom link to everyone who has registered. But I understand yours is done by Friday. Friday or Saturday. Yeah? Okay. So we already have Carpe Diem registered for that. And we see how many other people will get. And we have Luna. So we have 2. We have only 8 more possibilities for that day. Chester says, I guess we should all move to Canada for free medical. Yeah, you should. But you know what? I have to say, though, for me, the best place in the world is Hawaii. Hawaii is my hometown. That's where my heart is. And I don't mean I have a girlfriend there. No, I just mean that's my heart is for the islands, for the whole atmosphere, for the whole energy, for the whole key there. I love Hawaii, honestly. So, no, you don't have to come to Canada for free medical. You have to vote in your country to press them so they will provide that health care free of charge for everyone in the United States. And Christina is here. Says, hi, Maron. Hello, dear Christina. Says, female, 27 from New York City. It's so nice to see you. Good to see you here, too. Good to have your presence here. And Christina says, I just have to jump here and say that you are so right about the United States. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, well, we can't help it. There are forces involved that they're just trying to suck people out of their money, and they've created this nonsense of insurance companies. What does the insurance company have to do with medical care? What do they know? It should be one, and there should be government in taking care of people. Simple as that. And Carpe Diem says, I would love to visit Hawaii. Hope pandemic will be over soon. I hope so. I miss that place. I like, honestly, when I go there, it's like I'm living. That's where my home is. The people, the atmosphere, everything. Honestly, that whole spirit of love and kindness is there among their people too. Now, whether it's business, services or not, but in generality, however you want to call it, it has reconditioned them, even if it wasn't in their heart to begin with, which it was. It's their culture. But whoever goes there, even if it's not their culture, they become very calm and compassionate and caring and positive, Yeah, I know bad people are everywhere, but we're talking in general, yeah. Carpe Diem says also, I hope we can meet in Vancouver soon. Yeah. This whole business of pandemic has stopped all these possibilities of meetings. I mean, my dream was to have the channel with so many subscribers and so much, financial wealth coming to the channel that I could set up workshops around the world, different places, go and share and have weekend workshops or maybe 5-day workshops and so on and so forth, and make the difference that we were hoping to make. There's so much more I can share other than the breakups, relationships, and the things to do with the psyche and OCD, HOCD, so on and so forth. But right now we can't even travel, right? Carpe Diem says, I will drive from Alberta to BC. And Tim says, are Hawaiians considered Asians? No, Hawaiians are Americans. But most of them have a background of Japanese and Filipino and native Hawaiians. It's a mixture from different islands. But right now, and many Chinese too. But mostly Japanese, Korean, Filipinos, and native Hawaiians. That's the population who live there mostly. And there are some mainland Americans and other people from Canada and so on live there all around the year too, year round too. But Carpe Diem says we can have a great chat in the park. Yeah, with the masks on and hard to breathe. By the time we finish one subject, we're both out of breath. And we have one question here from Abhishek. Says, sir, I'm suffering from HOCD and suddenly it turned into TOCD. What if you become trans? I tell myself this is a thought like other, but now it seems like slipping reality, like I am confused now who I am now. As I mentioned, all OCD subsets have the behavior of the malfunctioning mind play a great role in that. I mean, the only role. So if you wash your hands 5 million times when you don't have to, It's because of OCD. There's no reason for it. It's just thought somehow it makes you believe. Brain is very powerful. Brain is so powerful that it can make you think you're a sofa, let alone you're a different gender. It can make you feel you are an animal, you are a bicycle, you are whatever. The brain is very powerful. So whatever it makes you feel you are, it is irrelevant. What you are is what you are, not what the brain says you are. Brain was secondary, was added to your abilities. Brain is not you and then you have been added to the brain. No, there is a you and there is an intelligence, there is an awareness, that's you, and then the other apparatuses and tools and equipments such as brain and other things have added to you. So you have to understand that. That's why suggestion and thoughts of brain about anything that is not purposely created by you using the brain's apparatus to make a thought, anything that thought brings up and introduces to you about anything, including your gender and all that, it's a nonsense. It's just brain, because brain was not even present or had any role when you were being created in the womb of your mother, and your gender and genitalia and who you are, your personality, everything else was being created. And then thought and ability to think and all that was given to you maybe months or years or months after you were born. So the thought had no business and had no role in what gender you were created as. So it has no role, any shape or form, in modifying it, changing it, threatening it of any sort. Ever. This has to do with chromosomes. It's no different than saying, I wonder if my heart is going to be my liver. If that can be done, also your gender can change. But that can't be done because it has to do with the chromosomes and how they are created in your genes, and certain program has created you the way you are. If you're born, however gender you're born, homosexual, heterosexual, whatever gender you're born, that's how it's going to be the rest of your life. No different than you're born with 1 kidney, 2 kidney, 3 kidneys, or 1 liver or 2 liver, whatever, however it was designed for you, that's how it's going to be the rest of your life. If that was the case, you could have thought another kidney or thought another heart. What's the difference? But if your brain comes out and says, oh, you have 3 kidneys, you're going to believe it. If there was no X-ray machine or any technology, you would have believed that too, wouldn't you have? But you can't get away with it because there are technologies. Now, the same way that the kidneys and the liver and so on has been given to you and created in you through chromosomes and development of the certain process of the genes, the same way your genitalia and gender has been given to you. Neither one can be changed. But the brain can conjure up bullshit anyhow, about any of them, about your kidney, about your heart, about anything. There are people through OCD that they think there's something wrong with their heart, but there's nothing wrong with the heart. But they believe it is. What do you think anxiety is? You believe something that is not true, and then you react to it through your body. What created that? Thought, brain. We go through, why do you wash your hands 5 million times? What for? Is it going to be any cleaner? But you think, I washed it 2 times, but I got to wash 1 more time. Okay, you wash it 3 times. Oh, 1 more time it will be, I don't know why it's clean, but it will just make sure everything is okay. What basis is that? Bullshit. But we do it, right? Many of us have done that. I have done it. I had OCD, washing my hands more than I should have. Not as bad as Howard Hughes, but you learn and you get out of it eventually. But what I'm trying to say is, this is what the brain does. When you believe something, then you have no reason for it. You check the door 5 million times, check the stove, you walk on the corners of the tile in the street, and you have no reason for it. But you think you gotta do it. Because it's what you believe, that if I don't do it, something bad will happen. Or I should just do it because that gives you balance, a certain kind of a equilibrium of some kind. Things will go right for you. That's the power of the brain. And the same power is behind making you think that your gender is changing, that you're living in denial. You've always been something else. You say, what the hell are you talking about? I always liked girls. I fantasized about them. I wanted to have this girlfriend. I went out. I enjoyed. I fell in love. All of that, suddenly the brain says, no. And then you forget about any of that ever existed. And suddenly, with the grace of the choice of the brain, the crazy brain, which we all have, because brain is very powerful. If you train it and understand it, it can help you to succeed in life. If you don't understand it, don't train it, can't see its malfunctions, it can take you to gutters and destroy you. It's a crazy bitch up here. Bitch, I mean in the form of bad word, not necessarily a dog or a woman or something. Don't come out and say that was a sexist word. It wasn't. I mean, demeaning the brain. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's a crazy thing in here. It's a crazy apparatus. But we believe it. Why? Because we've been conditioned to think that the brain is an authority, is credible. Why? Well, look, our whole life is second-handed. We are never in direct connection with life. It's always a processed life. You see something, it's not that what you see, it's the reflection of that goes into your eye, through your eyes, through the connections and the neurons, and then it's been processed, and then you see that what it is that is in front of you. Hearing, sound goes in here, it gets processed, then it turns through neurons and you can hear it. Everything about the connection of you to the world is second-handed, processed through the brain, and then from the brain. That's why brain has created certain kind of a illusory, fictitious credibility, because you think everything that is happening in the world is actually your brain is the one that is making it, because you see the whole world from the window of your brain. So you have created this brain to have a credibility of fact and truth. It doesn't. When it's processing things in here, it can modify it if it's crazy. And you will never know. You won't. And you believe it. That's why we get OCDs. We believe the brain. Why? Because the brain has been proven to us somehow that it's the world. So without any question or evidence, we believe certain things that the brain puts out because it's so powerful. And because we have been duped to think brain is the world, because we see everything through that goggle. Brain is like a virtual reality goggle that you put on your head. You play games. There's nothing else that you can see from corner of your eyes, and you believe everything, and only thing that there is that what you're seeing, whether it's a movie or a game. That's why you'll be affected. And soon enough, that becomes your world. And now we have this head brain here, which is the virtual reality of our life. And we have begun to think the brain is the real life than the outside. So we believe whatever brain says, contrary to the fact of the outside. Illusions. We go crazy and think, oh, somebody wants to do this, somebody wants to do that. Brain makes us believe that, somebody wants to harm us. Or brain makes us believe that something bad's going to happen to me if I go out. And we have been somehow conditioned to believe all this without any evidence. The same thing goes. Brain suddenly goes and says, hey, you're not the gender you've always been. You say, what? You say, yeah, that's what it is. How? What? What are you? You're a thought. You don't even exist. I'm a biology. I have actuality. How could not something that has virtuality affect the actuality? We don't question this. We just, oh, brain said so. So, these are some things that we need to be conscious of so we don't get fooled by the brain. Did I just get another super chat from Carpe Diem? My goodness, Carpe Diem, stop it now. Carpe Diem says, let's make this channel grow. I mean, you honestly, you're shouldering the whole channel on your own. What can I say but appreciate it? Carpe Diem says, Meron, how can a child detach from their parents' problems? I think I should help, but I should also step away. What is your opinion? Depends what kind of a problem is it. Is it a problem between the two, or is it a problem between their financial capabilities, or is it a problem with their health, or is it a problem with what they need? What is the problem? Perhaps that would be something we can talk about on the Zoom, because this needs interaction. Or if you just elaborate on it, I can put a few words in it. Chester says, same as Samoans and Micronesians, says they are considered Polynesians. It's very touchy topic due to Hawaiian history. Some native Hawaiians would take it personal if you considered Asians as Hawaiians. Yes, of course. It's true. It could. But you know what? Today, we can't live like that anymore. Anybody who is good to the environment, who's good to the earth, who's good to that piece of land that everybody is living on, whether it's Hawaii or United States or Japan or wherever it is, anybody who happens to care about that land, to be there, support it, and make efforts and help it economically, environmentally, and be conscious about it, be caring about it, well, that's an Hawaiian. We can't now just go only the ones who were born 1,000 years ago are, because things have changed. Yeah? I mean, today, Hawaiians could be anybody who loves Hawaii and works there and helps the economy of Hawaii and takes care of it. That's Hawaiian. It doesn't matter where you're born. You know? Everybody knows most of Hawaii is run by Filipinos. Not that native Hawaiians don't. No, they do their part, but everybody's helping together to make Hawaii what it is. So you can't say just Hawaii is this or that or so forth. Yeah, originally it was populated by these certain people that many of them you named and some of them I named. But then later on, it became what it became because of the efforts and participations and care and attention of these other immigrants. Japanese, Koreans, Filipinos, and so on. And most of Hawaii, honestly, is run by in big part by Filipinos. So we can't ignore that. But I understand people have emotions and certain history, and they connect themselves to that and so forth, and suddenly I think it becomes a little bit different than it should be. Aman says, have you ever encountered HOCD in your life journey, everybody has all kinds of thoughts showing up. And as long as you don't make any meanings out of it, then you're fine and healthy and strong and balanced. But you can make any meaning out of anything and then call it a certain label and deal with a conclusion that that word, the meaning of that word brings you. Don't do that. I could call anything HOCD, but why would you want to label it? This is how it felt. You just understand this is intrusive thoughts and go on. You have to understand, everybody in the world has intrusive thoughts, all kinds of it. The difference is the ones who has OCD, it lingers and it occupies your mind and you go after finding reasons for it. The others, they have an automatic system in striatum, caudate nucleus, that automatically shuts down the continuation of these images, suggestions, or thoughts. That's the mechanism that is put in the brain so it can stop the intrusive thoughts, because it shows in every human being on earth. That's why we have a system to shut it down. But when the system goes malfunctioning, it doesn't shut down. It stays on, and that makes the person think it's true, actual, because it's there constantly, instead of thinking it's a malfunction happening. The brain is so powerful that you miss the idea that, oh, it's malfunctioning. Instead, you say, oh, that's how it functions. That must be me. A totally different thing. Carpe Diem says, I feel I should help my parents' problems. They argue and make me feel stressed. I want to help. I'm so stressed. I want them to be happy. That is how they're happy. They're conditioned. I mean, they're probably in their 60s or 70s. And this is how they deal with each other. It's not your business, really. You can help if they ask for it. But unless they understand the role of their consciousness in the way they are treating each other, or the way they are observing and interpreting each other's behavior and comments and so on, based on their fears and their egos and so forth, they won't make any changes. Unless they make those changes, things are going to be always the same. And you can't be running around trying to clean up whatever happens there. You are after peace and tranquility, and you find their behavior and arguments obstacle to your tranquility. So, which means you need to learn how to tolerate the time that you're with them. And perhaps you want to talk with them and say, has anything changed since you guys continued this sort of arguments all the time? Has the arguments gone down? They say no. Say, if it's no, then why do you keep doing it? Why don't we see why is it that can bring harmony to you? Otherwise, all what you've been doing and you keep doing it doesn't bring harmony, because it continues. So obviously it's not something that's going to change the things you want to change. So why don't we start looking at it differently? That mom has a different consciousness, you have a different consciousness. You cannot expect you guys be compatible in everything. You just got to learn to tolerate each other with your differences. If you're pushing on making everything the way you want it to look like, that is where the conflicts and divisions will be more. Because conflicts and divisions are natural state of every human being with the other human being, because the conditioning they've received in the contents of their consciousness is different than the other person's upbringing and everything else that has caused them to have the consciousness that they have. So you can't expect a perfect harmony between two people, because they are dynamically in their consciousness, they're changing according to what is happening in the world or in their daily life. Their reactions are through neuroplasticity is changing the wiring of their brain. So even their development is going further apart because their starting point was different to begin with. But they constantly try to push against each other and think that the more they push, maybe they'll get it going their way. No, the more you push, there's a resistance from the other side. You put your hand on the wall. As long as you haven't pressed, it's a perfect harmony. But as soon as the hand presses, the wall also presses back. Then we got a problem. So both need to understand that this difference is what makes us all be individuals. So don't try to amalgamate each other into each other, and that's the only way. That's selfishness. We can't really get. Maybe some things we can compromise, understand, and be in harmony. Yeah, that's fine, of course. But not everything. You gotta understand that it's okay for us in sometimes some things to be different. But the older they get, the more impatient they become, and their interest in discussion would be less. They just want their own way. Unless they've been doing that all their life, this is not something new. And if it's not something new, that means they're used to it. Which means all their life they've been doing it, that they're still here. So don't worry about it. Stop thinking it's your responsibility. You're quite welcome, Carpe Diem. My pleasure. I'm delighted to hear that, Carpe Diem. I'm delighted to hear that. And bless you as well. So, guys, Yogi says, hello, Mehran. Do you plan to do a seminar in Korea? Come on, Yogi. We can't even travel from here to Hawaii. No traveling. And now they're talking about this nonsense vaccination thing. I don't know what the hell that is, what kind of a garbage they're going to put into our system. And so I'm going to wait until that vaccination has proven itself a few years from now. I don't want to put anything in my body. What for? You know, I don't have that kind of a trust yet. I gotta see what that vaccination is going to be doing to people. But I would have loved to. That was the whole plan. I wanted to travel around, put workshops, different countries, different cities, and share with people whatever that was possible to share. Yogi. So guys, it looks like it's been there's no more questions here, and I guess, well, I can be here another 20 minutes before we call it a day, because it's once a week, so at least I want to be, I don't want to shortchange you. But look, we're only 9 people here. Is something wrong? Honestly, I don't get it. I mean, the channels like mine really need the exposure, and I don't believe that out of 22,000 people, is it 22,000 or is it 20,200? Out of that many, which is not many, but it is many in any way, in one way or another, subscribers, we only have what? 10, 12 people showing up on a live stream? So maybe the announcement doesn't get to them, or maybe they haven't pushed the button. I don't know. It's hard to believe. Carpe Diem says, let the politicians take the vaccination first. Yeah, okay. I agree with you. I don't want to take it either. What the hell is that? It's all maybe, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, they try to do the same thing with H1N1, then they tried to do it with SARS, and none of them was mandatory for vaccine. Suddenly this one is. I don't know. Maybe it's needed. I don't know. We'll find out. Carpe Diem says, this YouTube pisses me off. It's horrible. Oh, Will Robertson has a good point. Says it's Halloween night. People could be busy. He's right. Because, but most people who are on our channel don't necessarily have children, or if they do, they're separated, and somebody else at that time could be taking care of them, I guess. But yeah, maybe they would be busy with the children. But because of the pandemic, I don't think there going to be so much preparation for parties or get-togethers and all that. But it's still a point, because we've never had. Usually on Saturdays when we have it, we have like, nowadays we have like 25, 30 people. It hits that high now, which is pretty good, amazing. So that's why I'm kind of wow. Well, we'll have another one tonight, by the way, at 9 p.m. Tonight at 9 p.m. And hopefully we'll end it by 11, because my neighbor would not, I have an agreement with her that until 11. So we try to end it at 11, or maybe I should go speak very softly, quietly. Hello, how are you? Yeah, the Halloween could be. Chester says there was a horrible vaccination incident that happened in the Philippines. The dengue fever vaccination caused lots of medical problems to the kids that received the vaccination. Yeah, unfortunately, these drug companies run around with supposedly the cure or the solution, but in their mind is really focused on, oh, we make lots of money. Okay, some people die. Okay, we'll pay them so much, but we still got, like, I don't know, $100 billion, and we pay $5 billion as damages. Oh, we made $95 billion. Hey, that's pretty much how they figure. It's unfortunate. Luna says it may be because you have come online earlier today. No, Luna, I came at 1, which is usually the same. Last week we had like about 33 people, I believe. And that was, I started at 1. And Carpe Diem says the strong supporters are here. What happened to the rat of 21,000 people? What? Rat of 21,000 people? I'm missing something here. I'm missing. And Aman says, I have a friend, he's close to me. He started to think I'm gay. He have no idea of HOCD. He's getting apart from me because he thinks I'm gay. I can give up, but he's the one who's only in contact with. Should I tell him that I have HOCD? I'm feeling awkward to discuss this with him. If he's a very close friend, tell him, listen, I feel that you are distancing yourself with me because of certain thing that you think about me. You can tell him, first of all, if I was gay, I'd still be the same person. So I'm still the same good friend, whether gay or not. Because don't you have good friends who are women? Don't you have good friends who are men? Don't you have good friends who could be any gender? And if I was gay, I would still be a good friend. So nothing would change there. But if it's something that is, you're part of your thinking, I wanted to tell you what you're feeling is not that I have, my gender can change. It's a mental glitch that I'm trying to deal with it. And it is called HOCD, which many people in the world have through intrusive thoughts. That's one of the malfunctions of the brain. And then they are trying to deal with it as it's suggested by the brain, but through knowledge and education, they can understand that this is a malfunction of the signaling system of the brain. Because you have the same kind of intrusive thoughts, but your automatic system shuts it down. And your gender doesn't change, and my gender doesn't change, but this interference of thoughts due to lack of efficiency and problem-free mechanism of the caudate nucleus, which is in the midbrain, then sometimes temporarily people have a different mindset, and they have to learn how to deal with it, what it is, and so on. And that's what I'm trying to do, educate myself. Otherwise, dude, my gender hasn't changed. My brain is going through some disorder that many people around the world could have to deal with it. But it's got nothing to do with changing the gender. So, and tell them, listen, what if I am gay? What difference does that make to you? Because I have friends who are gay, but they know they're gay. I have friends who are women, and I may be interested in that woman, maybe not. Maybe they would be interested or they will not. So same thing with other genders. It's gay, you're not interested. So that's the end of that. So he says, you can say you don't have to worry about anything. We're all people before we have any gender. All right. Carpe Diem says, what time will you be here later tonight, Mira? I am aiming for 9 so I can finish it at 11, so I won't be faced with the knocking on the wall thing that we had last night. I hate that interruptions, actually, very much. Very rude. While I can understand. If my voice is going through the wall is actually quite thin, because I can even hear from the other side what they're doing. Or, if the water is running or something. And we have Philberry or Fliberty. It says, I have a question. Fliberty, you're welcome to the question, but first, what happened to the protocol, guys? Only some of you still remember. So, Fliberty, is it your first time here? We have a little tradition that we get to know the gender, age, and where one is coming from. In other words, just like many of them have here, like F32 UK. That means female 32 from UK. So that gives me a little bit of a background, cultural background, age, and gender, so I know how appropriate the reactions or the responses there could be. And so perhaps you can share that with me, and I'll be right with you after I answer Tim's comment. Says, could YouTube be lying about the number of your subscriber? That's something we have never considered here. Like, you mean my subscriber are less than this? No, because I remember a subscriber used to be few, and then suddenly there were, in a month or so, it was 400, and every month I had 500 for a long time, and then we ended up to 15,000, 13,000, 15,000, then little by little inched up to 20,200. Luna says, oh, pardon me, the clock have gone back here, GMT time. I will never climatize to it. Oh, my bad. Oh, yeah. I thought so. Okay, good. Yeah. Oh, it is. It's gone backward then. What time is it now in UK, Luna? I can figure that out pretty quickly. Time in UK. So right now it's 9:44 p.m. and it is 2:44. That means you're 7 hours ahead now, right? Yeah, 7 hours ahead. So you pulled one back. So you're closest to us. closer to us now. My goodness, Carpe Diem, you're gonna go broke and we're gonna go very rich. Carpe Diem has again sent us another super chat. This is the fifth one today, or fourth one today. It says, more support, never give up, Mehran. We love you. I love you too, but honestly, I'm embarrassed. You don't have to do that. Only you and Luna have done another one, but you guys don't have to think you have to do that. But it's always appreciated because channel could use it. I mean, we can do some, you know, I have some people who I pay for the thumbnails, and I do all the editings, which is not that great, but I do it myself. But then we can have some funds to use for advertising on Facebook, because every week I do about $25 on Facebook, sometimes $30, just to get that advertisement there. And then I did $600 for YouTube. I didn't get anywhere for a few months, $300 a month for 3 months. But anyhow, it's certainly appreciated. Certainly appreciated. Thank you very much, Carpe Diem. Fliberty says, female, 16 US. Okay, you're 16 years old. Let me see what the question is. And do your parents know that you're here, dear? Because let me read the question, see what it is. It says, I have a question. How to forgive and get over a person who left you and started dating someone else almost right away after telling you he loves you and wants to be with you forever? Okay, this is a question I can answer. Look, you're at age 16. Probably your boyfriend was same age, 15, 16, or 17, maximum. I hope he wasn't older than that. At this age, you hardly know who you are. In other words, what you like, what plans you have in life, what education you want to have, what kind of personality you appreciate. All these things are still developing in you. Like what kind of sports you like, what occupation you want to have, what field of study you like to have, what kind of friends and personalities you like. The things about yourself is being developed for you to be aware of your own mindset, character, and so on. So hardly you could even know what kind of a boyfriend you like to have, what kind of mentality, what kind of principles, what kind of morals, what kind of manners, what kind of future, what kind of plans. None of that is known to you at this point, because most of that same things are unknown to you about yourself, because you're just growing out of teenage life. So while you're growing up, you will meet this boy or that boy, and you will get to know them. And at that age, you're very impressionable and very pure in your intentions, and you fall in love, and they fall in love. But that's part of the growing up, that you fall in love, and then as you're growing and changing in your interests and habits and standards that you're looking for, as you're changing, then suddenly the one that you loved no longer fits into the expectations that you had and the standards that you had for a boyfriend. And for him, the same. He is also growing up, and his consciousness is changing. His understanding of what character he has and what character he likes to have in his girlfriend as well changes. So then he goes up. He's not a man in a way of want to build a life to count on that he made a promise forever and all. Everything at that age seems forever. I remember when I was so young, I would fall in love, today and the next day with another girl. And you would want to marry all of them. Like I wish this would be my wife, and I would have this kind of life. And these were the things were going on to, a boy of a young age when he falls in love with a girl. And the girls have the same feelings that they fall in love with the boy and they think this is going to go on with getting married and all that. But all of that is at that moment with that particular stage of life. But you're growing, and as you grow, your expectation and standards changes. Therefore, the ones that you loved yesterday may not love anymore because maybe there's another candidate out there. So what he has done is not a personal behavior towards you because of who you are, how you look like, and so on. It's the way it is in a young man or young woman's mind and behavior and process of growing up at that age. You could have fallen in love with another boy and you could have left him, and that wouldn't be because you think he's a bad person, because you simply changed in a way of standards and things that you would like to find in another boy. Your standards changed. And at that age, the more boys seems to be paying attention to you, the more you feel sure about yourself that, oh, I'm hot, I got it, I'm so valuable. And same thing is for the boys. They meet somebody new, they feel, oh, I wonder if she likes me, and they try for her because they already have you that you like him, but he's not so sure of himself because he's still a boy. He doesn't have that kind of confidence. So he's trying to get confidence by seeing which other girl likes him. And he falls maybe in love with another girl because he thinks, oh, something that he doesn't have must be really better than what he has, which is not true. So it's not about you, it's about his own mentality. And when you change him around, it's not about him, it's your own mentality that is going through growth and experiences in life. So this what has happened is his way of feeling, oh, I'm popular, this girl likes me. Because, we boys, at especially that age, we don't have much confidence. We don't know what's really going on. We just wish some girl would give us the smile that we like to receive from. And we like to have maybe, if another girl also pays attention, then we feel like, oh, we're something. Because we haven't accomplished anything. We don't know anything, what it is life all about, and what accomplishments we can have. We haven't done anything. We don't feel important. And we feel important when a girl smiles at us. Same thing. You feel important when a boy pays attention to you. But then the boy pays attention to another girl in order to get more validation. That's what he thinks, that he needs more attention to feel better about himself. So it's not really about you. It's about his own shortcomings and process of growth that he's going through, and wants to be feeling that he's got it, he's got another girlfriend who is interested in him and all that. Because he's going through changes of learning about himself. What kind of girl I like. And tomorrow it could be another girl. 6 months from now it could be another girl. So nothing is personal about you, and you don't need to forgive him. You need to understand that this is the fact of life, and it's nothing personal. That hasn't made you any less than what you were before you met him, or during your relationship with him, or now. You haven't become any less because he's left you, and you weren't any more because you were with him. In your mind, you think, oh, I was in a relationship, so it was more, something extra, so I was more. Now the relationship is broken, so something taken away from me, so I'm less. Because this is how you're programmed. When you were a kid and you did something wrong, they took a cookie away from you, or they said you can't do that. So anytime they gave you something, you felt good. Anytime they took something away from you, you felt bad. So you kind of feel bad that something is taken away from you. But in fact, you have no use for it, because there's going to be all other boys going to be running after you. So understanding this make it easier for you to understand that he hasn't done anything on purpose to disrespect you. Nothing has come off of you or diminished in value in any way, shape, or form just because the guy's left. And nothing was really added to you when you had the attention of this boy. So all of that is just a normal reactions and normal growing up. So you will have another relationship before you know it. It's not a big deal. Don't think of it that is any bigger than what it is. So, I hope that's helpful to you, Fliberty. Chester says, tell your neighbor that the voices that he's hearing, it's a she, it's a older lady. She's hearing isn't your voice, but his intrusive, her intrusive thoughts. Tell her don't listen to them and ignore them. Good boy. That's my boy, Chester. You got it right. Now you know what you're talking about. Good. I'm proud of you. Good for you. Tim says, what kind of conversation did you have with your neighbor? Was she kind to you? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She actually, there was no conversation. She just banged on the wall. So, but, poor thing, I'm sure it's frustrating when there's a voice of somebody that carries over. So it's really not unusual, but of course it's also not fair here. But I understand that it's very annoying if there's a sound that you want to sleep. Probably, I mean, she must have wanted to rest at her bedroom. Maybe it's right stuck to my living room. That's probably what it is, and so that's all right. But it was annoying. Okay, now. Carpe Diem says, I cannot say enough. Please support Mehran. Well, you're so kind. Thank you. Hey, guys, we just grew by 7. We were 9. We're 16 now. Oh, we're just heating up. That's pretty good. Well, hey, if people are showing up, there's nothing really. Oh, what time is it? Oh, I have to actually. Hang on. Let me see what my appointments. I have a Skype appointment that I almost. Let me just double check. Oh. I should. Hang on. No, I think I have an appointment at 3:30, I believe. So, okay. Okay, 3:30. Okay. I still have a few minutes. So, I'll be with you guys for another 15 or 20 minutes max, and then I gotta cut it off because at 3:30 I have an appointment. Good thing I remembered. And so we see how it goes. We have now 15 people here with 19 likes, so that's pretty good. Aman says, is my fear that I won't get attracted to girls keeping me away from getting interested in girls? No, not at all. Look, this is just as soon as you keep educating yourself to understand the behavior of the brain, the malfunction of the signaling system, the role of caudate nucleus, the role of striatum in neuroscience of habits, the role of the communication that is not really taking place as it should take place in brain between frontal cortex, amygdala, thalamus, and caudate nucleus's job. All these have an effect on these intrusive thoughts lingering. Otherwise, everybody, whether they have OCD or not, they have intrusive thoughts of the same kind that you are having. The difference is when they're having intrusive thoughts, it makes them feel uncomfortable, but then shuts off. Yours, and the ones who are going through the glitch of a HOCD, it doesn't shut off automatically as it always did. That's why it shows up and you say, oh, It showed up. It was just like in the pandemic or in this. I never had it. Yeah, because nobody has it. Everybody has intrusive thoughts because the brain makes garbage. Depending on what your gender is, something is garbage to you, not garbage to somebody else, but garbage to somebody else, not garbage to you. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about that the brain does make things that are irrelevant to you, each one of you, meaningless to you, each one of you, uninvited by you, unbeknown to you. You're oblivious to it. But because you have this system, automatic system that shuts it down, you will deal with it, go about your life, and you won't notice it much other than a second that you notice, oh, intrusive thoughts came, but then you're focused on your thing and you go. But when that thing breaks down once in a while, then you will feel the effect of that intrusive thought, thinking as if it is something about you. No, you always had a mechanism to keep the flies away. Now the mechanism is broken, the ventilation is not working, the flies are coming in, and you think you always had flies. Whatever it applies to you. It's not about this gender or that gender. It's just in general, that's how the brain works. So that's what happens when you have in that glitch. And because it doesn't work automatically to shut down, your behavior by understanding the malfunction would result in you dealing with the intrusive thoughts manually, meaning understand that this is intrusive, focus on the now and what you prefer and what you are all about, have always been all about. Focus on that. Focus on what you are and what you prefer, what you want to be, and continue that route without paying attention to the intrusive thoughts more than noticing that there are intrusive thoughts. That's it. And that behavior, it's like manually putting the automatic gear that no longer works automatic, putting the shift into the gear manually. Your behavior would be the manual reaction to the intrusive thoughts, where it used to have an automatic reaction by caudate nucleus shutting down the intrusive thoughts. Now your behavior should show that's your preference of behaving when the intrusive thoughts show up, by dissing them, focusing on your life and how it's always been and what you are and what you like to be. And that behavior rewires your brain through neuroplasticity. Brain is very quick in learning things. And if you continuously, repetitiously behave the way you do towards the intrusive thoughts, you will get back that automatic behavior by conditioning yourself, rewiring yourself through neuroplasticity and retraining of your brain to again automatically negotiate and navigate through shitholes and potholes that you don't want to be stepping in. That works for every brain. So if you understand this, then you've got it all solved. But it takes a while to reprogram, to teach your brain. Remember, you're the teacher of the brain. The brain learns from, I've discussed it in many of my videos, that you got to do something first for the brain to learn it. So whatever it's learning, it is not the brain that is teaching you anything. It just gets ideas from all this information that seeps through your consciousness, conjures up thought, but they're thoughts. They have no basis of action. And you're the one who can turn something to action. So you're always the boss. You're the judge, and you're the wise. You're the selector. You're the master. You're not the follower of the brain. And don't think that way. So it shows up with nonsense. It's irrelevant to you. You focus on what it is that you want to focus on, and continue that until behavior changes and learns, because you have rewired your brain. All right. Carpe Diem says, we guys need a father figure like Meron. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Very kind of you. And it says, you have been such a blessing. Thank you so much. Honestly, it's, thank you for given me the opportunity to share whatever it is that I know with you guys. I appreciate that. Filiberty says, thank you for your advice. It was very helpful. Good. Delighted to hear that. Aman says, I'm having fear of girls will think that I'm gay if I talk with them. Should I continue talking to girls? Yes. Even I'm feeling disinterested. Yeah, they're human beings before they're girl or boy. You're communicating with another sentient being, with another human being, with another intelligent being. That's all. You just let the conversation be with what you or them like. That's all. You don't have any special motivation there when you want to find friends. You're just finding friends. Whether they're girl or boy, doesn't matter. You're finding friends. So converse. And says, even if I'm feeling this at this stage, does my problem will end over there? Yeah. Your understanding and education about how this thing, why this thing it is like this, is because of the malfunctions, and I should not pay any attention to any meaning of whatever intrusive thought shows up. It's another way for you to be educating yourself. And then don't focus on the topic or what it means. Nothing. It doesn't mean anything. Don't focus on interpreting any intrusive thoughts. Topic is irrelevant. The fact that it's intrusive is what you should be focusing on. And then you move on. And then eventually everything settles out. Watch the videos in the playlist Intrusive, OCD, HOCD short videos. That's the most important playlist. The other playlist is in detail of interpretation of the meaning of the intrusive thoughts, which we've done that. It's like 23, 24, or 30 different videos on that playlist of intrusive, transient, OCD, HOCD, negative thoughts. And the new playlist that we have been focusing on for the past while is intrusive, OCD, HOCD short videos. And that focuses on the understanding of the mechanics of the brain and the malfunctions of the brain and the relationship between thoughts, brain, and you. And that's the one that I want you to most focus on. Because it's not talking about interpretation of things, thoughts. It talks about the relationship you have between brain, thought, and you. We're finding the you. Many of my videos are pretty interesting now. It could be wordy, that's me, but I want these words to accompany you through the topic rather than give you the injection version of it, just short. That would be an excerpt. That would be a saying. That's you wouldn't know where it's coming from. I don't want to give you a conclusion. I want to give you the process so you can understand where these conclusions come from. And that would be a better understanding. Because one of the problems our brains has is that we deal with conclusions. A word has a meaning in the dictionary. We look at that meaning, and suddenly that meaning forms a conclusion in our brain. And then now we're dealing with an already accepted conclusion. That's difficult. That's bullshit. You need to understand what got to this conclusion in the form of words and suggestions, which means meaningless. Don't focus on conclusion. Focus on the fact that it doesn't matter what it means, what conclusion it represents. It's meaningless and irrelevant. That's what I want you to focus on. All right. Maliha Fatima is here. Says, good to see you, dear Mehran. Female, 27, Pakistan. Have you been here or you just arrived, Maliha? And Aman says, I'm having fear. Okay, we did say that. Okay. So, Maliha, I wonder if you guys watch this live stream later and figure out if you guys going to join us for the Zoom maximum 10 people Zoom live stream next week, Sunday at 1 p.m. Vancouver time. And for the ones who came late, you can go to PayPal, and if you are a member, you can send to my email $25 fee of registration for 2 hours Zoom for 10 people only. And if you're not a member of the channel, then you pay $50, and that will get you the registration, a place in that Zoom meeting. And you can do that through PayPal and use my email address, which I put it in here, because I don't have a button on the site that says Zoom meeting it. My programmer is putting it together. Then later on, you'll just go on the site and click on the site with that button, and gives you the calendar of the Zoom meetings, and then only 10 people can attend, and you register, and then you pay it through PayPal. And it takes Visa, MasterCard, and stuff too. But for now, we don't have that system placed yet. So you can send it, if you have PayPal, to my through my email through PayPal, or otherwise you can send it through a form of a super chat, and then I will say that this is for the Zoom, and then I will register it that way, and then I will send you the link to your email. All right, guys, looks like that we have been here long enough, and it's time for me to end my program here and get ready for my appointment on Skype, which is in a few minutes, and I will get a little bit of a timeout before that meeting starts. So it's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here and giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to talk to you again. Tonight at 9 o'clock, we will have a live stream, Vancouver time, 9 o'clock. So if you are around, you're welcome to join. And then hopefully next Saturday, again, we'll have another one. And then next Sunday, we'll have our Zoom meeting, which by next few days, I hope I will have enough people to see how many people have shown up. Only 10 people, and we hope to fill it up. If we had more than 10 people, then we'll schedule it for the week after. So I look forward to talk to you again, if not tonight, next week. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.